mean, you were kind of touching on it in different ways, but could you summarize how you think about institutional formation? What is institutional formation?
The shortest way I describe it is it's how we co-create an institution. Another way is, and this is drawing on Wing's work, is it's all of the present of the institution as well as its potential. That's thinking about that potential as already existing, even though it's not operating. I use a process that I came across actually by adopting something from individual work to the institutional work. Are you familiar with Dick Leiter here in the Twin Cities? Yeah. Okay, he actually had an article in Fast Company that I took off to Maricopa one day when we were having a gathering out there. And I think I just used an excerpt from it. He had the results from a study of people who were executives who were approaching retirement, and what had they most, what was most on their mind. And they had 3 regrets. They regretted that they hadn't taken more risks, that they hadn't taken more time for reflection, and they hadn't gotten clear about what was important to them. And as a group, the group of people, there were about 20, 25 people at Maricopa, that read it, and we started talking about it, and really started seeing this as a cycle, that you need to take time for reflection in order to get clear about what's important to you, so that you can take the risks. And then if you take the risks, you can reflect on that. So I know on the website there is just a real short 2-page article that starts on the front, and the front is really just the excerpt from Leiter's work, and the back describes institutional formation as, instead of individually, collectively coming together to discover what's important, to discover what's important, where do we want to go, and what risks we need to take. And I use that term institutional formation to call that the institutional formation cycle. And I also find the use of the term institutional vocation very valuable with that, because it really has to go beyond just simply what do I want, but what does the world need. And oftentimes people use the term vocation as if God is calling. And this is another place where I make the adaptation, and I make it not to get the ideas just into the language, but because it's important to me. I am an unbeliever. I love that Obama used that language and announced it at his inaugural. It makes it so much easier than arguing is it an atheist, agnostic, whatever. It's simply the more gentle unbeliever. So I don't spend time thinking about, is there a God calling? But I do think about institutions relating to the world, and what are the institutions being called to, or what is this institution being called by the world to be? So that idea of bringing in the Frederick Buechner's phrase of your heart's deep gladness and the world's deep hunger becomes what is the collective heart's deep gladness, and where does that connect with the world's deep hunger? So those are the ways in which I actually define and use the term